Okay, so tuck the toes under on the puppy pose. Keep pushing the floor away, and now lift your head off the brick so that you're no longer leaning onto the brick, so that your ears want to be ever so slightly above your arms, and it feels like your shoulders are spreading wide across the back. So you're not hunching or bunching the shoulders up around the back of the neck and ears, but instead it feels like the armpits and the undersides of your arms are actually moving towards the floor, so that they are grounding down, but the center of your heart is drawing in towards the spine to widen the back of your heart, as if the heart has got all shy and wants to hide at the back of your ribcage all of a sudden. Press the floor away, and then as you do so, as you push the floor away, lift the knees up just 1 inch off the floor. So without moving the shoulders forwards, just lift up the knees off the floor, and you're in a turboed version of the puppy, and it's really easy for the shoulders to come forwards here. So instead, keep pushing the floor away so that you can maintain that line of integrity through the arms and the side waists as the shins come parallel to the floor. So you're really pressing through the arms. The knees are now maybe 3 or 4 inches above the floor. The shins are properly parallel, and the bum is moving back. Keep pushing the floor away. Wide collarbones. Turbo puppy. Puppy with Duracell batteries in. Will go on forever. Maybe you won't go on forever, though. Okay, and then you're going to start to lift your hips up from there. So your hips move up, and then your feet walk forwards a little bit. Soften the backs of your knees, but keep pushing through your arms so your shoulders stay wide. My head's dropped and is now my eyes are looking between the feet. Bum's in the air. And then as I inhale, I'm going to raise my shoulders forwards over my wrists and step my feet. And I'm going to find my bricks in the way there. Pop that to the side. As I inhale, lift up halfway, and then as I exhale, drop the head down, relax the neck. Soften the knees, drop the sit bones. Inhale, let the arms float all the way up, palms together, and then exhale the arms down to the sides. Great. Let's keep going. Inhale, arms float. Exhale, fold forwards. Ribs in, head down, relax the neck. Unravel, inhale, halfway up. Exhale, knees bent, take the hands to the floor. Keep the shoulders forwards over the wrists. So one foot goes back, but the shoulders don't follow. You can always jump that way too. Okay, so I'm going to drop the knees down, and this time we're going to lower down to hover. So squeeze your elbows in towards each other. Ground the index finger and the thumb. Don't lead with your chest, so it's not chest forwards. Or did I say chest forwards? I meant hips. It's not hips forwards. If the hips stay back, we're going to come down and lead with the chest. So your heart leads, your lower belly is scooped back and is following, and we hover. And we keep pulling the hands back, and then there's a dragging action as I come through. So my toes drag, my knees drag, my chest opens. I can always pop my knees down if necessary, but I've got suspension in my arms. So there's never a sense of locking the arms and hunching up at the back of the shoulders and the neck. I'm pulling the shoulders down the back and giving space under the armpits. And I can even sway from side to side there just to sort of find out where I am. And then as I exhale, pop the knees down again and slide the hips back, but don't drop the head. So walk your knees back again. We did this before, but this is a different version. So the puppy, which we did install Duracell batteries into, has now discovered a musical talent. And so we're going to pop the puppy onto a little keyboard. So we're going to lift up the palm of the hand, and so only the fingertips are now on the ivories, like so, creating a little wigwam effect. So the puppy will play piano at the front of the mat, and then my arms are long. I've walked my knees back, I don't think I mentioned that. Relax the head, but don't drop the head to the floor. So you're not dropping the head to the floor because then the shoulders are just all over the place. The shoulders have collapsed, there's no integrity. So instead we keep the shoulders above the ears. They keep the ears above the shoulders, and the shoulders are just below the ears. So we'll probably find that take any instruction I'm giving you and then just reverse it, and it'll be just the right instruction for you. Okay, I'm glad you're all listening. Okay, so you're pressing out through the sideways and through the arms. The head drops, but it's not dropping towards the floor. And now there's not really any ability to be able to collapse. So as soon as you start collapsing, everything falls apart. So instead, you have to stabilize the shoulders from the shoulder blades rather than just relying upon the arms to do whatever it is that they're going to do with gravity. So we're actually wrapping the shoulders wide here. If you're really, really struggling, so if you're really struggling because things are not holding together, you can bring your brick back in and pop your head on a brick, but I'd like you to remain playing the piano with your puppy. So if you're really struggling, then that might be an option for you. Again, the undersides of your arms and your armpits are moving towards the floor here, so they're not opening out. Instead, they're dropping down towards the floor. Good. Keep the breathing going. So you feel the buoyancy under the arms as the piano playing puppy finishes its symphony, and you can press the hands back onto the floor in a normal puppy fashion and move the hips back, drop the head, tuck the toes under, and then up go the hips into a more traditional downward dog. So your feet are about hips width apart, soften the backs of your knees, and lengthen out your arms. Come into the breath, and see if you can apply the puppy and the piano playing puppy into the top half of the pose here. And then softening the backs of your knees. So we're going to experiment with a three-legged dog here. So without actually lifting the hip socket up, we're going to take the right foot and we're just going to lift and pull the right heel into the hip socket itself. So it's like we're just going to lift the foot up. So you're not going to kick it back, but you're going to pull the heel into the hip socket so the right foot comes up. As if you're going to step it forwards, but in fact you're not. You're just going to pull it in. And just feel that leg root into the hip socket on that right side, and feel yourself having to stabilize through the dog, through the shoulders. Try not to lean to the side. And then replace that foot down. Let's have a go on the other side. So left leg, draw the heel in towards the hip socket and lift the foot off the floor. It's only going to come up a couple of inches. And again, you're not trying to kick it back to do this, or out to the side, but just literally pull it up off the floor. And you'll feel that left hip pull up slightly as the leg pulls into the hip socket, and the hip flexor fires on that left side. And then replace the feet onto the floor, and see if you can then pull both legs into the hip sockets. So see if you can find that action on both sides, and then lengthen the arms out and move the hips back. And lift the head, look forwards and bend the knees. And then step forwards, so your feet come forwards. And then lengthen the spine out again and open the chest. And as you exhale, let the ribs pull in, legs head down. And then soften the knees, drop the sitting bones, lift the head, push through the floor as you inhale. Float the arms up, bring the palms together. And then as you exhale, let your arms come down to the floor. Okay. So, one more variation we're going to explore here. So again, exhale into the feet. Grip the legs as you inhale, let your arms float up. And then reach up as you exhale. Ribs in, head down. Hands to the floor, head down, relax the neck. Unravel, inhale, long spine, shoulders back, and then exhale. Bend your knees, place your hands to the floor. So keep the shoulders moving forwards, keep your elbows squeezing in, step your feet back. Okay. And then again, exhale, drop onto the knees if you need to, squeeze your elbows in, lower down. So your heart comes down, and see if you can hover there. And then you're going to pull the hands back so your spine moves forwards and up. Roll the toes over. You can always drop the knees down, bring the elbows out to the side. So you're not trying to don't exaggerate everything to an extreme degree, just a little bit to give some space to the undersides of the armpits. And so again, you're not sinking to the floor, so just press the floor away and create some suspension.